e azul, Malaka. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Shane Gillis.
How are you at oral sex?
Pretty good, to be honest. My teeth come out.
Siobhan, how would you like to go on a date with Donald Trump?
Yes! Finally! Oh my god, I won. Did I win?
I got head.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Shane Gillis doing an impersonation of Donald Trump, something that he's very well known for. He's also very well known for getting fired even before he started working for Saturday Night Live about 5 years ago. And just recently, he hosted Saturday Night Live, which really proves that if you say something racist 5 years later, people will forgive you. That's what's known as the Mandela effect. I'm sorry, that's what's known as the Mel Gibson effect. I'm sorry. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, we have to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Now, it's not important what he said, but here's what he said.
Damn, Chinatown's fucking nuts.
It's crazy, dude.
It is full fucking China. Dude, it's
Yeah.
fucking Chinese down there.
I wonder how that started. They just built one fucked up looking building and people were like, alright, no one said anything.
Those fucking chinks live there, huh?
Well, they built these fucking like huge Shanghai out. The first one must have infuriated everyone. They were like,
I'm pissed
what
now.
the
I go
fuck?
down there, I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Get these ducks out of that window.
you know what? Yeah, true. Also, I'm always like, how can there be so many fucking restaurants down here?
All rest. Well, because
You go in, there's like one person eating
fat
ever.
white idiots like me are down there
True.
sucking down neuters.
I hate China. I hate the food in Chinatown. Sucks.
I like
Chinese food's a very dishonest cuisine.
I don't even want to think about it.
They invented a fucking chemical to put in their food to make it delicious, dude.
It
They
is.
made it as MSG.
Good for them.
It's a dishonest food, dude.
I'll tell you what's dishonest. Being interviewed by a white guy, and for some reason, the symbol of your podcast says Nas Cass Media, and has a picture of what appears to be an Arabian guy with the the clothing, and I don't know. There's a lot of weird things there. The point is, listen, when you're on a podcast, sometimes you might say things racist. I'm not speaking for all podcasts out there. I'm just saying if I've ever done fucked up shit on my podcast, forgive me. 5 years later, it's not going to matter anyway, because no one listens to this. And two, it slipped out, but again, he's able to, get past it. The people are willing to get past it. And he was asked to host Saturday Night Live 5 years later. So seems to be a pattern with Saturday Night Live where, like, even with Norm Macdonald, I mean, they told him he wasn't funny, but then, we all know that Norm is fucking hilarious, rest in peace there. And then a year later he hosted, but in this woke world, you have to times that by 5. So yeah, that explains Shane Gillis today. And he's pretty much the number one comic. And a lot of people would debate, no offense to anybody on Saturday Night Live, part of the cast now, but he's basically more famous than anybody on there. So, and you can't really disagree with that. I mean, the guy's everywhere. He's selling out the shows, arenas, all this shit. So, but how did he get to that? I mean, he beat cancel culture, I think it's going to be a trend now where basically if you get canceled, that's probably the best thing for your career. Now it's like, well, now I can do whatever the fuck I want. So I'm proud of Shane, man. I think Shane's a good dude. And his podcast, I like to talk about him, his stand-up, a couple of his shows. And then, like I said, I'll get to the Saturday Night Live episode at the end here. So without further ado, let's go on Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, because I'm broke as fuck and free is fucking awesome. All right. I'm in Canada. Thank God for healthcare and, pot stores. Shane Michael Gillis. Hey, there you go. Same name. Michael. I'm not Irish. Not that there's anything wrong with being Irish. I'm just, Born December 11th, 1987, is an American stand-up comedian, actor, sketch comedy writer, and podcaster. He is co-host along with fellow stand-up comedian Matt McCusker. Cusker? Was that the guy he just talked to? I don't know. Of Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. Could be that. I mean, the most subscribed to podcast on Patreon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie to you. I still have no idea what the fuck Patreon is. I don't know. Sometimes you watch a podcast and you're like, oh, looking for my bonus content on Patreon. I don't know. I got it confused with Patron for a while, but anyways, I'll look into it later. In 2019, the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal named Gillis one of its new faces. Gillis was announced as a new cast member on the NBC sketch comedy series Saturday Night Live in 2019, only to be fired from the show 5 days later due to backlash from clips of a 2018 episode of a podcast featuring jokes that contain ethnic slurs. In 2021, Gillis released his first comedy special, Shane Gillis Live in Austin, on YouTube. Gillis is also known for his collaborations with filmmaker John McKeever on their online sketch series, Gilly and Keeves. In September 2023, his second comedy special, Shane Gillis Beautiful Dogs, was released on Netflix. And there you go. You got a nice little picture there. It's not really in focus there. He keeps giving a thumbs up. I even Googled like why he keeps giving a thumbs up. I don't know. Maybe it's just again, maybe it's an Irish thing. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Do I like chicks with red hair? Absolutely. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, he's doing just fine. Okay? The irony of it is him getting fired from Saturday Night Live was probably the best thing for his career. I mean, you know, he's done sketches online and whatever, but I mean, like, would he be able to tour and shit and do all this stuff if he was on the show? And, you know, no, he'd be restricted and maybe do some shit in the summer in his off time, but that's it. I mean, there's no way he would have blown up like this. So, I don't know. I guess Saturday Night Live realized, hey, you know, we sort of made a mistake, but not really, you know, so that's why they, you know, waited 5 years, or maybe someone brought the idea and said, hey, let's bring him back, and there you go. So that's it, guys. I mean, you know, I think the key thing to remember is, you know, if you're racist, it won't really cost you that much. Like maybe you'll be put in, you know, Hollywood jail for a while, but you know, you could host Saturday Night Live. You know, you could still be nominated for Oscars. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is the kind of world we live in, and I gotta say, I'm not for it, but I'm not against it either. You know, you shouldn't be racist, but you know, I mean, if I'm going to shut up now because I don't want to get any more shit. But the point is, let's look up some facts about Mr. Shane Gillis, okay? Because I don't know a lot about him. I've seen the sketches. You know, I love when he does Trump. It's excellent. He does a great job doing it. But let's go on facts.net here and find out some more stuff here, okay? Shane Gillis is a stand-up comedian. No shit. Known for his sharp wit and humorous observations, Shane Gillis has made a name for himself in the world of comedy. Thanks, Tips. He was born and raised in, I'm going to fuck this one up, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. All right. Shane Gillis hails from the small town of what I just said, Pennsylvania, where he grew up honing his comedic skills. All right. Gillis gained recognition as a cast member of Saturday Night Live for what, 2 days? In 2019, yeah, he joined the cast, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they didn't, okay. All right, facts, you might have to do more research on there. Like I just said, he got kicked off. That's okay. We're on line number 3, it's cool. His time on Saturday Night Live was short-lived. Unfortunately, okay, there we go. Shane Gillis' stint on Saturday Night Live was cut short due to a controversy over past offensive comments he made. Okay, so yeah. Again, you know, listen, 5 years later, there you go. He gets the last laugh. That's it, you know. But keep in mind, back then when they fired him, at the same time, you know, they listen, it's not a good look when you have new cast members and one of them is a Chinese member and you use, the racial epithet. I think it's how you say it. And then say, well, okay, we're going to hire him and the Irishman that said it. So like, it's not a good look. I didn't have to say Irishman, but I just threw it in there. Gillis is known for his candid and unfiltered approach to comedy. Shane Gillis often pushes boundaries and tackles controversial topics with his unique brand of humor, which has garnered both praise and criticism. Well, listen, when you're a good comic, it's good, bad, whatever, as long as it gets you paid, which he's doing a lot of touring over the last 5 years, and he's been absolutely killing it. He has performed at various renowned comedy festivals. Shane Gillis has showcased his comedic talents and prestigious festivals like Just for Laughs and the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. I don't know where that is. The Just for Laughs festival is in Montreal. Listen, I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. I don't care. Gillis co-hosts a podcast called Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast alongside fellow comedian Matt McCusker. Cusker. I think I said that right. Shane Gillis co-hosts the popular podcast Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, where they engage in candid and humorous conversations. Unfortunately, it was not that much of a secret because that racial shit got out, but that's cool, man. Don't worry. Again, listen. Am I going to talk about racism one day on a podcast? Absolutely. Am I going to talk about it right now? Fuck no. I already did a podcast about the word retard. He has a significant following on social media. Shane Gillis boasts a substantial following on platforms like Twitter and Instagram, where fans eagerly await updates and comedic content. Okay, good to know. I don't care about social media. I don't know, it took me like 5 years to figure out YouTube. Gillis has been featured on various television programs aside from Saturday Night Live. Technically he was never on. He got hired, but he never actually showed up there. Because what are you gonna do? Shane Gillis has appeared on shows like Comedy Central Presents and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Cool. I'm still not buying Stephen Colbert, the whole, when he had his Colbert Report, remember back in the day, before he started coming on stage, dancing and making out with Helen Meredith, who I think is a pretty cool lady, by the way. It's she seems all right. I'd have sex with a chick with gray hair. I don't give a shit. The point is, I'm not buying this shit that it's he did a character, then he changed it, and I'm just not buying it. Sorry. He started his career in comedy as an open mic performer. Like many comedians, Shane Gillis began his journey by performing at open mic nights in local comedy clubs, gradually working his way up the comedic ladder. Okay, that's what you gotta do. Pay your dues, and that's it. Gillis has released a comedy album. Shane Gillis has released a hilarious comedy album titled Live in Austin, which showcases his unique comedic style and wit. Now you can see this for free on YouTube, and obviously it's a visual. Shows him on stage. I'm going to talk about it in a bit. He has collaborated with other prominent comedians throughout his career. Shane Gillis has collaborated with renowned comedians like Louis C.K., David Tell, and Jim Norton. All three very funny guys. Yeah, I know the Louis C.K. shit. I get it. But, come on. It's Louis is still one of the funniest shows of all time. I don't give a shit. Gillis is known for his quick and improvisational skills. One of his greatest strengths as a comedian is his ability to think on his feet and deliver rapid-fire improvisational comedy that keeps audiences entertained. Cool. He draws inspiration from influential comedians. Shane Gillis has cited comedians such as Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neal, rest in peace, and Dave Chappelle as major influences on his comic style. Makes sense. Listen, you don't think these guys were racist and saying shit either? Whatever. Listen, It comes with. Let's just get this out of the way. I was going to save this for the end, but fuck it. I don't know. My memory is not what it used to be. Because, like I said, there's legal pot stores in Canada. Like, I got news for you guys. Pretty much every comic, comedian, probably most actors I've met too, are racist. Okay, I got news for you. But there's different, levels of racist. Okay, if you say like maybe an ethnic slur, in a joke, it it could be offensive to a lot of people, but it's I get a life, guys. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I mean, like it's little shit. Okay, like, are these people that we just named part of the KKK? No. Well, I mean, Patrice is dead, and Dave, I don't know, he's black, but then he did. Well, he did that sketch about him being in like a black guy that's blind in the KKK, and then apparently it's actually based on a true story. I don't know if that's bullshit. The point is, okay, probably Bill Burr, because the whole Boston thing. I mean, like we know. I mean, we fuck the Bruins. The point is, okay, everybody's racist at some point. They say something, okay, like even if you rap a rap song, by yourself, a certain word is going to fly. I'll tell you a short little story here. So I do security. Thank you. And I was at a club one day, and they play Juicy, by the late great Notorious B.I.G. And we all know, how every verse ends, and if you don't know, now you know. I'm not going to say it, but yeah, maybe you did. Maybe you're by yourself too. But the point is, the majority of people in the club were white, and I would say there was at least 1,000 people there. So, I get it. The drinks are flowing, but at the same time, they just said it. Now, is that considered racist? I mean, probably, yeah. But, the point is, it's just, you got to pick your spots. That's all, And, of course, technically, Saturday Night Live is a family show, I mean, it's the only family show that I know that airs on Saturday nights at 11:30, but, and goes till 1 a.m., but, I mean, most people don't even watch Saturday Night Live anymore. I mean, that's a sad thing. I mean, they watch it, but, they see the shit the next day, or, I mean, most people go out Saturdays, or maybe they stay home, and I don't know. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, like, is it a real punishable offense what he said? I mean, okay. If you're Chinese, yeah, absolutely. You're going to get offended by it, Actually, I'm going to tell you guys another story. And, I shouldn't probably even be saying this, but you know what? I'm an honest person, for the most part. When I'm not talking to a woman. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm honest to everybody, men, women. So I used to always use the phrase, that's chin. Okay, so, and I didn't know. I maybe a lot of people have never even heard this phrase. Okay, now I always thought it meant take it on the chin. Like if you're, in a trouble or whatever, something bad happens to you, just take it on the chin and move on, just, whatever. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The last time I said it was in front of a Chinese person, and the person got really offended. And I was like, what the fuck are they getting offended for? Who cares? Like, I mean, we all, take punches to the face, whatever, or, get bruised up, whatever, metaphorically, emotionally, whatever. And, I found out then that it meant, it was a reference to Chinese people. Now, I hand to God, I had no idea. I really didn't know, Have I said other things in the past that maybe I did know? Who knows? But the point is, sometimes you just don't know. Now, in this case, did Shane know what he was saying? I probably, but at the same time, is it, like it's, I mean, they were talking about Chinese restaurants and shit. And, I mean, yeah, MSG, it does add a lot of extra calories and all that. And, listen, I'm just droning on here because, I mean, like, a lot of these facts are just pretty much kissing his ass. I mean, not that I'm, not that I don't want to read them or whatever, but, no, that's pretty much it. He does a lot of experimental comedy. Yeah, you have to, okay? And in that sense, listen, all I'm saying is overall, okay, I'm not saying you have to be racist to be funny, but sometimes when you say a racist joke in the right way, it could be funny, but watch out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay? And also keep in mind, let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of shit comes from China, okay? So if you badmouth these fuckers, okay, God only knows what they're gonna, we're breathing in their plastics every day, and I don't even know what MSG stands for. I just know it is fucking delicious. I mean, the noodles and the chicken and it's beautiful. It really is. Why does it take 40 minutes to boil noodles, and then it takes like another 20 minutes to drive to my house? I mean, I mean, they shouldn't be driving anyway. But the point is, racism done well can be very, very funny. Now, let's switch over to IMDb before I actually dig myself to China and find out, a little bit more about his acting career here. So the very first thing he was actually in was a show called Delco Proper. He was in one episode of that, and that's all the way in 2016. I have never heard of the show. You can add a plot. Yeah. I have no idea what the show is. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really prepare a lot for these podcasts. But to my 3 listeners, thank you so much. Bows. Anyways, I don't know. That's what they do. The point is, it seems like a funny show. 8.7 out of 10. You can't go wrong. So I don't know. Check it out. He did a short. You's got something right there. It's a picture of a black guy in a black and white photo. Okay. It's Derek Gaines. I don't know who that is. I want to say he looks familiar, but I don't want to come across as racist. You know what? I knew it. This is the guy who, he did the Hulk hands, remember, in King of Staten Island. He was one of the waiters. Yeah, he's funny. So they did, they did something together here. So yeah, again, I didn't see this. Shane Gillis is in it. Yeah, his character's named Shane. So, there you go. He got some wiggle room there. And then he did a TV series called DWEC. Is that how you say it? DWECK TV series. He plays, once again, Shane Gillis. Okay. Victor Dweck explores American life in a series of comedic sketches. All right. So there you go. So, I'm seeing a theme here. He helps out his comedic buddies and, does a bunch of shit. So that's cool. Respect. So he was in a TV series with his buddy, like I mentioned before, called Gilly and Keeves. Okay, it's got a rating of 9.2 out of 10. And I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty funny. You can catch out. Fuck, some Chinese. Listen, the show is available free, like I said, on YouTube. You can check it out whenever you want. That sounded way better. So the first sketch he did was a sketch called ISIS Toyota. Okay, where they're just selling cars. Obviously, they're trying to, not fucking. They have no association with ISIS, okay? So that's funny. Uncle Daycare. This is one of the funnier ones they did out of, how many did they do here? 12? Yeah. So this one's really funny. It's basically making fun of dads or uncles, I guess, sort of. Yeah, dads, uncles, whatever. They have nothing else to do all day. They scratch offs, they're afraid of vaccinations, like most Americans, I guess. That's why Trump's going to get elected again. Oh, fuck. Well, it's either that or Joe Biden, he's basically what? Gerald Ford 2.0. He keeps falling down stairs. Jesus Christ. Oh, like how to install an AC. You're drinking beers, just having a good time. And, surprise, surprise, they have opinions about all lives matter. But that's one of the funnier ones for sure. Sleep Cop, that's a good one, where it's a cop that sleepwalks, and he's got a gun, and well, you can guess what happens next. Was a mill? I can't read my own writing here. I do sometimes make notes. I don't know why. I guess it's worse than a doctor. Something funeral. I don't know. Yeah, that was a good one. The last coach of the football team or something. Yeah, that was a good one too. Kidnapped is a good one. They're all good. I mean, making fun of Peloton, which I'm assuming, like, I mean, what's the point of Peloton? I know you got to work out and shit, but I mean, I don't know. You got a feeling like a lot of guys are just buying it for the videos to. Okay, blind guy ruins wedding. That's a good one. That's a good one. Apology to the press conference. That's a good one. The mattress. That's a good one. The OnlyFans dad. That one's really funny. I'm not. It involves a Sybian. If you're a Howard Stern show fan, I mean years ago, they had this device called the Sybian, and it's basically this plastic penis that just moves around a lot and involves a dad. So I don't know. Well, I was going to say use your imagination, but you can just watch it. And of course, at the end, I started off the podcast with him doing the Trump speed dating. Okay, that's one of the funnier ones, of course. And, watching these ones, you really get an idea of what his humor is about, what could have been on Saturday Night Live. Would they have actually used the Sybian one? Probably not. But the point is, we get to see it uncensored on YouTube, which, let's be honest, I mean, everybody's doing their own thing on YouTube. I mean, anybody can create their own, content and all that. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, Shane gets kicked off Saturday Night Live, but that just gives him an excuse to go on YouTube and do whatever the fuck he wants with his buddy, uncensored. So, there you go, man. Yeah, so overall, very funny stuff. Will they do another season? Who knows? I don't know. But it is pretty funny. So when you got the chance, check it out. Gilly and Keeves, the special. This was also very funny. They made it kind of like a mini movie. Not really a movie, but just a movie involving more sketches and stuff. And 8 out of 10, very funny stuff. I saw it. I thought it was pretty good. The one with they make fun of. It sounds stupid, but they make fun of like, was it like talking signs on lawns and how they're in competition with each other and all that. It sounds stupid, but it's funny. Trust me. So check that one out. No News is News. It's a podcast series. Not the best rating, 2.5, but I mean, look at my podcast. Anyways, and the last thing he's been in is Bupkis, which is the show with Pete Davidson. And it's a very funny show. I talked about it before with on the Pete Davidson podcast I did. Listen, you got Joe Pesci out of retirement to play your cool uncle. Like that alone is worth checking out. Okay, Eddie Falco, we all know her as Carmela Soprano on the best TV show of all time, The Sopranos, playing his mom. It's a great show. And there was one episode, Shane Gillis showed up. I mean, everything is kind of an exaggeration on this show. I mean, I guess he's sort of playing himself, but, it's, I don't think you could get away with murder that easy. But the point is, OJ, I mean, just listen, it's a very funny show. Check it out. I think it got renewed for another season. So, who knows? Maybe Shane will show up there again. And there you go, folks. There you go. Now, the stand-up specials. As I mentioned before, Shane Gillis, live in Austin. All right? It's free on YouTube. You got no excuse not to check it out. Okay? Of course, he's going to talk about white privilege, living with his parents, his parents being obsessed with Fox News. I have the same problem. I mean, I go over to my parents' place. For some reason, 23 hours out of the day, like it is on CNN. I don't know why. It's just, it's on in the background in every fucking TV for some reason. I mean, they put on subtitles. I don't get it. I mean, I could literally, be outside having a smoke and, I can still hear it. I don't. It sucks getting old. But the point is, I can relate. Dad's an angry drunk. Irish. Okay, you can fill in the rest there. Being racist, he talks about that as well. Football, remember the Titans, all that shit. He hates slave movies. And again, it's not a racial thing. And let me just, again, defend him, okay? I'm not going to do the Chinese jokes anymore. I'm going to try. On the podcast, not in real life. But, because eventually I have to, go outside. Listen, I'm not against slave movies. I'm not, but it's one of those things where, let's just really be honest. I mean, black people, if you could do me a favor, I mean, there's no black people that probably listen to this shit, but, if you could do me a favor, just, I'm going to put down my notes here. That's what that sound was. Let me just talk to the white people. Listen, do you ever sometimes watch a slave movie and you think to yourself it's okay, it's not the best movie, but you can't say it's a bad movie because then you look racist, right? So I get it. It's 12 Years a Slave, yeah, it was a good movie, don't get me wrong, but even I admit, I like Brad Pitt, don't get me wrong, but he kind of just comes out of nowhere like a superhero and says, yeah, sure, I'll help you. I'm like, well, where were you the first hour and a half? I mean, fuck, I'm just saying, Okay, and we're back. So, Hidden Figures, he made a funny joke there. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to get into more shit. Of course, he's talking about Trump, of course, music on the room. God, I really can't, it's, I don't know. It's like reading Dr. Kevorkian here. It talks about the kids in Special Olympics. How they love John Cena, and not as much as The Rock, of course. Talks about some funny shit. And you know what? It's again, could he have done this when he was on Saturday Night Live? Probably not. But this got him a lot of traction, and eventually he did get an official special on Netflix, because let's be honest, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is fucking awesome. He's in my top 5. I'll do a podcast on him one day. Will it be better than this podcast? I don't know, but less racist, hopefully. But to get 20 mil a show, why not? So Netflix is the place to be for sure. I doubt Shane's getting 20 mil a thing, but still. People are gonna listen when it's on Netflix. When COVID Part 2 hits, forget it. You can we're gonna watch Sopranos in the office again. No worries. And of course he's talking about the Red Cup drinking. Which, by the way, let me just mention this. He recently did get a deal with Budweiser to become the new spokesman. Okay, so as we all know, by that Budweiser brilliant move to make I don't even know what you can say anymore. Can you say trans? Can you say transsexual? Which one of them is offensive? Which one is not offensive? I don't know. I told you the offensive shit is not going to end. But so that failed, and it cost them literally billions of dollars, which that was fucking crazy. I knew as soon as they started adding flavor, a Bud Light with lime, or first of all, Bud Light is a horrible beer. It is just. Listen, I'm Canadian. I'm used to the good stuff, over here, and even I don't drink that much beer. I do. I like Guinness on tap. I'm whatever. I just got I got some class. And but Bud is just fucking horrible. It's just, I don't know, it's you drink a beer and there's that bottom part there that you don't want to drink it, but you're like, I'll drink it because I've already had 4 or 5, and I don't know, that's like the first sip of Bud every fucking time, and I don't get it. But he's drinking like a fucking champ on the Joe Rogan podcast when they do the Parks and Rec, when they all team up there, and what was it, Joe and Mark Norman, Shane Gillis, and I don't know, the guy that I don't know, for some reason, I don't know, likes hates Kobe for some reason. I don't know what's his name. Ari Shafir. There you go. I still can't believe he dosed Bert. I don't know. I mean, okay, Bert's not the best comedian, but I mean, there's no reason to drug him. I mean, especially with his his family in the room there, and holy shit, that was a disaster. It's the first time you ever drugged someone at the age of 45, eh? Bullshit. Anyways, so the name of the special is Beautiful Dogs. Okay, so of course he talks about red cup drinking, traveling, going to Australia, Goffs, which I didn't know they made those anymore. I do remember Goffs. I mean, Goffs, I grew up in the 90s. That's pretty much where it started. I don't know. People call them Goffs. I call them women who have humongous tits, and you can't really tell because they're wearing all black. But then if you look closely, it's there, and maybe they're shy of showing off their tits. And I'm gonna stop there. Whites are not cool. I gotta. Sometimes when I write notes, I'm not sure if they're gonna make sense later on. Okay, talks about Jackie Robinson. Okay, that's true. Jackie Robinson is way cooler than any white person. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then at one point he was wearing a bucket hat and being made fun of. But I mean, can you? I mean, realistically, if you drink a lot of Bud Lights, I mean, you're eventually gonna start wearing bucket hats, and of course he got made fun of because of that, and was it coughing during sex? I've done that. I've coughed during sex, sneezed during sex. Never did that during sex. I've never done that, period. I just, sorry, I got my head down when I'm reading these notes, so I don't know, my nose tends to run. But then again, other people's nose tends to run, even in July, that's, it's going to snow either way. The point is, really funny special, guys. Come on Face, which, yeah, that's always good. But a lot of funny stuff here. I don't know. I can't read half of this. I don't know. I wrote this a few weeks ago. Army dogs and a robot. Okay. Well, regardless, I mean, you should check it out. It's very funny stuff. And, yeah. Will he make more specials in the future? Yeah, of course he will. Of course he will. But for now, let's talk about what happened when he hosted Saturday Night Live. And, a lot of people were excited about this. I mean, there was a rumor that, he might not even show up. But I think that was bullshit. I mean, because think about it like this. Like I mentioned before, Norm Macdonald years ago, I mean, there was that, again, a rumor that he was there for the week, rehearsing all the sketches. And then when they announced him, like just before that, he would have taken off in a cab and would have totally left everybody stranded. Now, I mean, I personally think that would have been the funniest fucking thing ever. But I mean, this day and age, I don't think Shane would, actually pull that off. I'm not saying he wouldn't have the balls to do it, but I don't know. I mean, let's assume even if he did do it, I mean, would it really affect his career? I mean, last 5 years, we know him for his stand-up, right? I mean, he could, do stand-up for the rest of his life and live a very comfortable life. And like I said, you can go on YouTube, do your sketches. I mean, no one's going to stop you. I mean, it's not like, oh, you didn't show up for Saturday Night Live. We can't support him anymore. If anything, I mean, this day and age would probably be, pretty rock and roll. But it would be unfair to the people, that do the show and the writers, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, it would have been pretty funny. But, he didn't do it. So, people are wondering, is he gonna show what, would have been if he was on Saturday Night Live? Or, I mean, who knows? So, well, we do know because, the people, they aired the show and he was in it. And, is he going to get along with Bowen Yang, which was the guy who, is Chinese on the show there. I feel he's pretty funny. Kid Rock, your thoughts?
Like, fucking, it's just,
Do you notice this on Saturday Night Live? This is a perfect example. And I TiVo it every week, and I just love Saturday Night Live, but I'm like, all right, fuck, now it's become unfunny. There's bands on there I've never fucking heard of that suck. And it has its moments where it's great, and this, that, and the other, and you probably know the ones I'm talking about, but nonetheless, I watch it. And I've noticed this. It's like, so when they're doing the opening monologue, one of the cast members will be in the crowd or whatever, and everyone will give them some applause. Watch this. Every fucking time when the Asian gay dude comes on, people are like, yeah! I'm like, what the fuck is that? Why? Like, why? Why are we screaming louder? He's not the best person on the show, clearly. Mikey Day's fucking great. There's other people on there that are fucking equally great. I'm like, why? Why are people doing this? Like, just clapping louder. That's like, we're all just fucking humans, man. Just be who you want.
They want to show they're inclusive.
That's what I mean. It just shows me this fucking millennial generation that, like, a good chunk of them are just complete fucking pussies.
It's very performative. Virtue signaling is like something that everybody does now. It's something that you feel obliged to do.
It's like, you're so brave.
Yeah.
It's like, you're so brave. God bless you, soldier. This guy likes dick. It's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big. It shouldn't be that big of a deal.
No one cares.
No.
Okay, so a lot to process there. First off, let's just be honest here. Kid Rock, I love you. Okay, I've heard nothing but great things about Kid Rock for the most part, especially when you go to a concert. Okay, I always hear that he gives good deals for like beer and food and all that. He doesn't overcharge. Okay, he's an average Joe type of guy. Okay, but at the same time, I got to be honest with you. I mean, he's kind of right. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I mean, it kind of does sometimes. He does get that extra applause. But he is pretty funny. I mean, I have to admit, I think he's one of the funnier guys on Saturday Night Live right now. I don't think it's because, he's gay or whatever, but I just think he's a funny guy. So, but yeah, I do agree with Kid Rock. Millennials are pussies. And yes, I am, aware that technically, yes, I am a millennial, but I've said this before, and something tells me I will say this to the end of time. Calling me a millennial is like calling Steph Curry black. Technically you're right, but really, it's the point is, we were all wondering if he's going to be able to, get is there even something between him and Gillis and Yang? I mean, who knows? So we were all wondering that. Gillis is a Philly fan, so we all know, we all know how sensitive Philadelphia fans are. But the point is, let's just see what happens. Okay, let's just see what happens. So, the first sketch they do is, Gillis is not in it. Usually, the host is not in the first sketch. Something about Trump and. I don't know. He just went over South Carolina, and it's. I mean, this. The states, man. I'm telling you, I love you guys, but you guys are just gonna do yourselves in, man. I mean, between Biden or Trump, either way, man. Do you guys not believe in retirement, or once you reach a certain age, it's okay to say, hey, I'm worth millions of dollars. I can now chill. And, now Biden's, he's like Grandpa Munster. And Trump, became president because, he wanted his ratings on his show to go up. And now he's just going with the flow again. And holy fucking shit. But I don't know. This sketch wasn't that good. I got to be honest. It's not a good way to start. I don't know. Something about pooing in the office. I don't know. I didn't really get that. But I don't know, out of 10, I'll give it a 2. Sorry, guys, but not a good start. I'm thinking to myself, okay, no worries. Gillis is going to go on there. He's going to do, some of his stand-up. And he did. And, he goes on there, he didn't get dressed up. He doesn't have to. He's a comedian. I tell you, there's certain comedians, they go, you got to, dressed in suits and, be taken seriously and whatever. I'll be honest with you, me personally, I always thought that was bullshit because for the most part, when you're a comedian, I think you're trying to relate, to the most, common man or woman, right? And I'm not saying you can't show off a little bit of your success, whatever, but like I don't know, like like I don't want them coming on like like Mace in the Feel So Good video, all the plastic suits and shit, like it's not necessary, he goes on there, a t-shirt, jeans, that's it, he's a Philly fan, I don't expect much anyway, but yeah, so of course, he talks about being fired, and his mom and dad are in the audience, that's nice, and he coaches like a female something team or whatever, and his and he makes a funny joke about his mom, or like growing up when you're mom's best friend, and then all of a sudden you start whacking off, and then you forget it. So I thought that was pretty good, but. I remember when Martin Lawrence did his opening monologue and he got banned from Saturday Night Live. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't affect Shane here. But again, I mean, I don't know. He's got nothing else to prove. I mean, like he's got to stand up. He's fine. I'm just saying because certainly I've noticed bodily functions you can't really use on Saturday Night Live. I think that's one big no-no. But I'm sure he cleared it with Lauren Michaels there. So I thought that was funny. Talks about Down syndrome and people in his life he's got to deal with. And then he's got like a mixed family there, and of course you got to say the word retard, which I'll be honest with you, I that threw me off. I mean, and not so much me because I made a whole podcast about the word retard, and I'm gonna make another one soon because nobody listens, and I was like, okay, he got away with that too, so there you go. Yeah, but it was really funny. I like even at one point, like he even looks at the audience and he says, "Listen, I don't know how to like I can't say most of my jokes. I got to be clean and all this." And like even he admits like it doesn't translate well. He's nervous and don't clap for me. It's not worth it. Don't worry. Whatever. But I think he did a really good job. I give it an 8 out of 10. And what was funny is like when he, when they were going to commercial there, they looked at him and he did the thing, where you see something and you're like with your hand going back and forth, you're like, meh, and he did that. I thought that was fucking hilarious. So like from beginning to end, I thought it was really funny. I thought he did a great job. You could tell he was a little nervous, but yeah, it was awesome. He did a really good job there. So. The next sketch, it was a white family in Jamaica on vacation that went to church. Yes, that is the actual sketch. I didn't believe it either until I started watching. But then I noticed at one point that Shane was trying to talk Jamaican, and I was thinking in my head, like, there's no fucking way he's going to remember this. And you could tell he's clearly looking at the cue card, and... but it was worth it. I thought it was funny. He said something. I don't even know what the fuck he said, but I was even thinking to myself, like, are they going to do something? Because the One Love movie with Bob Marley, and I'm assuming this was not so much a reference to that, but I it's Black History Month too, so I figured, okay, they're gonna take a shot at Whitey not knowing anything, and yeah, there you go. So I thought it was pretty funny. The one woman there who dressed up like Cat Williams a few weeks ago there, making fun of the whole I don't know, the interview there or whatever. For some reason, like she looked like Tim Meadows in Grown Ups 2. And she looked like what's the guy's name that does all the history shit? The Tyson Fury, whatever. Yeah, she had a shiny suit on. I don't know. It was yeah. But the point is, very funny. I give it a 7.5. Then they did a quick little sketch there, pre-taped about online gambling. What do you do when your friend rocks bottom? Now you can bet on that. I thought that was good. It was pretty short, but it was all right. I give it a, I don't know, it was okay. I give it a 6. The HR meeting. So yeah, this is the first time that Shane and Yang are together in a sketch. There was no fight. They kept it professional. Again, then people build up shit for nothing. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure things, went online saying, maybe they won't be in a sketch together, but, they kept it professional, I don't know, who knows? Maybe they don't get along. Maybe they do. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, it's, I don't know. It is what it is. But Shane, I'm telling you, man, if you say something against the Italians or Greeks, I guarantee you, I'm gonna laugh. But anyways, yeah, it was just some HR meeting, and just talking about dating in the office and all that and whatever, and like if you ask a date or someone for a date one time, then is it does it carry does it carry over to the next person? Can you get a reset in a year? So. But it was okay. I give it a 6.5. And of course, you got to have him do Donald J. Trump here. I'm assuming the J stands for jerk off. Wearing the gold shoes. He's selling these gold shoes for some reason in real life. I don't know why. It just, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Trump will sell. I mean, Trump. Didn't Trump sell like steaks at one point? Like, and someone made a good point. Like, how the fuck do you lose money selling steaks? I mean, steaks sell themselves. I mean, worst case, you put them for half price and you still make a decent profit. I mean, Jesus. He's gonna be president again, eh? Fuck. Okay. All right. I mean, it's either that or Biden's gonna have to get some, shag carpet for those steps. So yeah, he puts on the shoes and all of a sudden he becomes Trump, it's funny. I liked it. 6.5. And then, there's, the TV show, The Floor with Rob Lowe. I don't know, they're making fun of that. I've never seen it. I didn't even know Rob Lowe was hosting a show. I remember, Rob Lowe for, The Outsiders, Tommy Boy, and making the very first celebrity sex tape on VHS. Yes, he actually did that. Look it up. And that's how old I am. And then, like picking out the drinks and whatever. And, of course, Shane has no idea who all these black people are. But then there's the irony is, I should say, I mean, again, it was like Shane versus Bowen for the first round. Then it was the girl there. Then it was the black woman who didn't know Basquiat, the painter there. She thought it was The Weeknd, so reverse racism. It was okay. I give it 6.5. And then 21 Savage did a performance there. And he did some OJ line. I don't know exactly what he said. I forgot. But remember when 21 Savage was on Vlad TV? And like Vlad goes, so why'd you get a cross in the middle of your head? And he goes, it's a dagger. So yeah, he was. It was kind of scary. And but then years later you found out he was British. So I don't know. It's kind of evens things out, I guess. And he's singing Red Rum. So Red Rum, OJ line. Okay, so Norm Macdonald gets fired because he did too many OJ jokes. And, this is okay. I will never understand censorship. But the point is, he had some ballet dancers there, some singers, a woman on a violin, and there you go. He's wearing a lot of denim. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you got the clothes from Jay Leno. Leno, can you do something for me? Yeah, so, good little performance. Then they do the news, it's always good. Trump winning, all that shit. I don't know, the frozen embryo guy there. I don't know, he kind of looked like the dude from Powder. And then they talked about a zombie deer disease. I don't know, the Bambi blowing people. And then they found a leg on the Bronx subway system there. Holy shit. Good Lord. Anyways, and then Capote was played by Bowman, which you should check out the new series there, Feud. It's pretty good. Another actor plays Capote, and the first season was pretty good too. But I don't know, the impression was okay. I mean, it was kind of like if Michael Jackson was doing an impersonation of Capote, but it was all right. I did find this interesting, though. I was watching this live. I find it weird that they, were doing the whole, Capote, and Capote, was very much out of the closet. It's pretty obvious there. And then the second commercial they aired was for HIV. Yeah. Moving on. So the next sketch. By the way, the news was. I give it 7.5. It's always pretty good. It just. That's a bad place for that commercial. Anyways, so then they did a 20-year reunion sketch where Gillis has got a mullet there, and they're making fun of Forrest Gump. For those of you who have not seen Forrest Gump, you should. Is it better than Pulp Fiction? Fuck no. But yeah. And he didn't know about the whole thing about Forrest Gump being so successful, so he's a little embarrassed there. And then at one point, Forrest Gump mentions Lieutenant Dan, and Gillis goes, "Oh, where is he? Stand up." So I thought that was good. And there's a joke about him doing coke with Danny DeVito. I could see that. Yeah, so it was an alright sketch, 6.5. And then they did one about a sex doll, which is something every guy's going to have, I'm assuming, in the next 10 years. Listen, it's like I said. I mean, I don't like Apple phones, but as soon as iPhone invents the iBlow, I'm never leaving. So it can do all this crazy shit, and the other dolls, whatever. The one doll looked like it was ready to jerk off the other guy there. That was good. But yeah, 6.5. And then 21 Savage was back on there. They're trying to bring back R&B, man. So props to him there. And then a couple other singers were on there. The one female singer, holy shit. I mean, after you see her, I mean, you're just gonna crave Cinnabons. But listen. I don't know about the song or the performance, but I don't know. She's getting a 10 from me. And the last sketch. Alexa is always listening. It's just a bunch of people at the bar. And it was done okay. I mean, it was a funny joke about the Green Bay Packers butt plug, that he ordered. It was okay. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was going to end a little better, I'm not going to lie, but I gave it a 6. And you know how they go from sketch to sketch and they show a picture of the host? He loves to give thumbs up. I don't know why. Again, I Googled it, I got nothing. But then he dressed up as Ben Franklin for one of them, and Ben Franklin, he invented the lightning rod, the bifocals, and the Franklin stove. So yeah, I don't know if I don't know the connection there. I don't know. I didn't get it, but overall it was a pretty decent show. I mean, so far, in my opinion, I think it's the best show so far this season, for sure. And he even said at the end there, it was, I guess it was maybe cut for time, but he only had a few seconds to talk there, but he said he really appreciated being there. And I think that was pretty genuine, although they cut him off with the music. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They got to let him, it's worse than the Oscars. I don't know. Let him talk for a little bit. Why not? I mean, you're already a few minutes over schedule. I mean, I don't know. No one's waiting for the next show. I mean, does anybody know what airs at 1 o'clock on a Sunday morning on NBC? Exactly. Let the man talk. I mean, and what's funny is, I don't know if anybody caught this. If you see at the end there, they literally cut the show off, and it looks like he sees Bowen and he's about to shake his hand. He's about to put his hand out, and you're like, okay, you're gonna see them, there's nothing there, obviously, no ill will, but they literally cut it right before he put his hand out. You could see he was doing it, and I don't know if I doubt they did that on purpose, but it just I mean, it's like no, it's like the worst timing for them to cut that off. But again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this. I mean, again, racism is something I'm going to talk about in the future, and I'm sure I'm going to fuck that one up. But again, should Shane Gillis be, punished for what he said years ago? Of course not. I really don't believe that. I don't. I mean, all jokes aside, even if he said something, about the Greeks or Italians, or even me being 4% Jewish, it doesn't matter. A lot of it is meant to be, for comedy. And, he proved that he would have done a great job on Saturday Night Live. He's more than proven that he's one of the best stand-up comedians out there right now. I definitely urge you to check out all his shit online. And, he's a really funny guy. So, like I said before, in this cancel culture that we live in where, like I said before, we're afraid to say the word "the" without offending somebody. It's almost cool to be canceled. And there might be one person that we can actually give props to starting that trend. And that person is Shane Gillis.
Hello, I'm Bob Isis of Isis Toyota, and we have a great collection of pre-owned certified Toyotas. But there's one thing I want to make very clear, and it's that we have nothing to do with the terrorists over there in the Middle East right now. And that's why we are the good Isis.
What's that movie that Logan made?
Which one?
The one where he played a cowboy. The only one.
The Oklahoma Kid.
Shane? Oklahoma Kid. Shane. Oklahoma Kid. That's me. I'm the Oklahoma Kid. Yeah, fucking Barbie. Yeah, who you motherfucking